Hey guys, welcome back. It's Maverick here. It's Monday, and it's time for another episode of the Monogatari series. So today we are on the final episode of the Koimonogatari arc, and it doesn't really feel that way, right? And I think that's something that's been prevalent throughout this entire second season, no matter which one I'm watching, like Kabuki or Otori or whatever. They just don't feel quite at the end yet, even if I know this is the last episode in the arc, which, I don't know, it just feels like there's a lot of stuff that's still unexplained, unexplored, and, you know, etc., right? So, I don't know whether that's a good thing or not. On one hand, you can say that it leaves you wanting for more, right? But on the other hand, it just doesn't really feel complete. Although I guess with a series like Monogatari, there is the possibility that they'll explain things later on down the line, and then, you know, sometime later you'll be like, aha! And then go back and you know, everything will make sense. But, I'm just saying. In any case, so, last episode, right? Kaiki has started his plan to deceive Sengoku, and promptly got slapped in the face, at least figuratively. Now, with that being said, I'm sure that he has some backup plan as well. Kaiki wouldn't be Kaiki otherwise, and this is his story after all. He's got to find a way to actually get out of it, and the fact that he can live to tell the story means that he's done something right in the end. And of course, lots of people have, you know, you guys as well, each have their own opinions and interpretations of all the events that happened this particular arc. I'm not going to go too much into that. Maybe we'll talk more at the end there. For now, let's just see how exactly this entire thing concludes. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. And yet... Oh. Ooh. Volition. The wrath of the snake god. Are you quite done dancing yet, Sengoku? So you thought, eh? Alright, who's gonna come to the rescue? Is it Aragi? Is it Gaian? Is it Ogi? Heck, Ogi might be the cause of all this, right? But still. Like, who's it gonna be? I don't know why, I just find it so funny every time I hear their duet here. Dun dun da 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 da. Well, I guess a part of it is the nostalgic factor as well. Like I said, the whole feeling of this song and the animation and whatnot just inspires feelings of nostalgia. Like 80s, that kind of thing. Alright, what are you? So basically she believes in nothing, right? Okay. He's mad. Senjagahara? Wait, who is he? Okay. I'm thinking, is that Senjugahara or is that like Kambaru's mom? Okay. So it was Oki. I thought she was just talking about everyone. Talk about yandere. Oh. Is that what she was hiding in her closet? I'll bet that's what she was hiding in her closet. What the hell? What? Is she gonna be embarrassed to death? Seriously? Okay, but what the question is, what did she actually draw though? A rom-com? Alright. What did she draw? To love Rue? Oh my god, seriously? Oh, she still has a reason. Her true dream is to be a manga artist? See. Oof. I like how she's resorting to like physical melee attacks. This is seriously like an adult versus a child. Was there any hint at all that Sengoku liked drawing manga? Is this actually going to work? Oof. I don't quite know what to comment right now, to be honest. This is simultaneously ridiculous, yet compelling at the same time. I know how to describe it. Oh. What, so you're now turning into a tsundere, Sengoku? What? What? What the? What? This is the real lifestyle of the slug. Damn. Holy crap. Entrust back to him. Yeah. Awesome song. Oh my god, this ending, man. Right, is he talking to us now? Oh, no, wait. Now this is an adult romance right here. Okay, so basically trying to force him into completing it, right? Oh, so purposely telling him to pull up. Is that so? Okay, what's gonna... Oh. What the fuck? The hell? What? The fuck? What? OMFG. Yeah, it should be Kambara. Holy shit. Wow. This ending, man. Guys, I can't. Nisio Isin is definitely a genius. I've always said this, right? I think the mark of a great writer is someone who can actually write antagonist characters to the point where you feel sorry for them, you feel for them, and you want to take their position, right? And I feel like this arc, and specifically this ending here, encapsulates that feeling exactly. I feel genuine sadness at Kaiki's ending here. No, not to the point where I want to cry over him or something, right? Not that I mean, I'm not exactly that expressive of my feelings, but I have cried over some characters before, but not so much with Kaiki. It's more of a rueful kind of feeling here. I mean, I absolutely love how he ended this arc, and I can totally see why he would need to die, right? Compared to with, for instance, Mayoi, right, where it was mostly just shock and disbelief, and even till this day, right now, I still don't completely believe that she's gone. But in Kaiki's case, you know, even though there's still some sort of ambiguity at the very end there, I could totally believe that he has perished, that he has died, because you know, at the end of the day, he is at most an anti-hero, but I would say more so an antagonist that just so happened to be the main character of a particular arc, right? So I could totally see how in this kind of story, in this kind of setting, he must die, right? He must die, even if he did do some things that were to our liking at the very end there. So I could totally get that, but you know, I feel like it's kind of weird for me to say, but I do think that Kaiki might just be my favorite character from the series so far. It was always in the past Oshino Meme. I've always loved that dude. I love the way that his character is. I love the sayings that he has. I love the wisdom, the advice that he dishes out. But you know, he's been gone for a long time, right? As Kaiki mentioned here, and I think, you know, having this entire arc and whatnot, I mean, I just have to say, Kaiki is probably my favorite character right now. And, you know, I just love how he resolved the entire situation as well. I can sum it up in one thing. So, for instance, you guys see that at the end there, Araragi came out of nowhere, right? You know, much to the surprise of everyone, I assume. It certainly surprised me that, well, I guess I was expecting Araragi to show up sometime, but I wasn't expecting him to show up at that exact moment there, right? And then, you know, having that sort of back and forth between them. The funny thing is, at pretty much the same time that Kaiki said it, I was thinking the same thing, and that is, look, Araragi, the adults are doing things, just stay back, right? I thought that exact same thought as well, because in an essence, I think that could be exactly what this arc is, right? In fact, you can even sort of extrapolate it and apply it to the entire series as a whole. What do I mean by this? So I think I've mentioned in the past how you can consider the Monogatari series, at least for me, I can see a sort of parallel there to maybe all these oddities, all these different characters representing different mental issues or mental conditions, right? I think that's one thing that can come of it. And another thing is you can also sort of view it as a sort of coming of age story for each and every single one of these characters. Sure, they've encountered some pretty gnarly things in their lives, right? Some pretty nasty things in their lives. But at the same time, it's still... I don't want to say this in a way that sounds mean or anything, but at the end of the day, that is still just a small part of their entire lives, right? And it ties back into, like, for instance, what Kaiki was saying through this entire episode, how he was trying to convince Sengoku here. No, even if you disregard everyone else, right? At least for Sengoku. In Sengoku's case, I would say this applies to a T. And that is, even though right now you think this is the end of the world because you were... your feelings aren't reciprocated or whatnot. You're heartbroken and so on and so forth. And sure, at this time it might seem like the world to you. You might feel like your world is ending and whatnot, and cause again, going back to the mental issues thing, this sort of mental instability that Sengoku is experiencing and manifesting, but these things come and pass, right? I don't think I've mentioned this particular part in this series before. I have mentioned this in other series, but at the end of the day, I feel like one thing that we must get from these sort of coming of age stories and whatnot is, school life represents just a minuscule portion of your entire life, right? It's really not the end of the world, even though at that point in time, you could absolutely feel that way. I mean, I can totally get that, right? Because everybody here was a teenager at some point. Everybody went through mid-school, for high school, and whatnot. And, things that you encountered, your mishaps and whatnot at that point, sure, they're absolutely going to be like the end of the world to you in some way. But as years grow on, right, it's inevitable that people think that way, right? Because think about it. If you're in middle school, for instance, that means past 3 years. So let's say you're in middle school and your entire middle school life. So that would mean by the time you graduate, you're about 15, right? At least if you're using the Japanese system. So that means for 3 out of your 15 years of life, you're in middle school. So that's like what, 20%? A substantial percentage of your life. But then consider that for most of your life, you don't really have any real memories of it, right? Like, if you think back to how far back you can actually remember everything that happened in your life and whatnot, I would venture a guess and say most people would probably say it's around 10-ish, right? At least in the higher years of elementary school and whatnot. So if you really consider that, let your memories only go back to, for instance, from your 10 to 15, that would mean that those middle school years are 60% of your life, right? So, I can absolutely say, or I should say people should absolutely agree that, at that point in life, these are things that mean so much, right? But then Kaiki here is essentially telling off Sengoku from an adult perspective, right? That, you still have a huge life in front of you. This is not the end of the world. This is not the end of your life. You still have lots and lots of different things that you can explore, you can experience, etc., etc., etc. This is not the end of the world, right? And, once it boils it down to it, that's what it is, right? You can go through the entire ridiculousness of the situation all that you want, and certainly I feel ridiculous as well that at the end of the day it turned out to be that thing that Kaiki looked at in the closet, something as mundane as wanting to become a manga artist. This entire thing, it's ridiculous, right? But I can also totally see why it fits into this particular situation. It's just exaggerated. It's basically a coming of age story. It's basically this kind of thing, what people go through your puberty, through your adolescent years, and just exaggerated to the nth degree, right? And I feel like you could consider consider that as a sort of microcosm for the entire series as well. So in a sense, the entire series is sort of like this. And Kaiki and Oshino and Gaian and all that, you know, in the context of this, they are these world-class exorcerists, right? That they can dispel these oddities and aberrations and whatnot from people. But this could also be like a huge metaphor for basically for having an adult perspective towards some fairly mundane teenage problems, right? Now, obviously, that's really simplifying it a lot, and some of the, you know, like some of the situations that we go for are certainly not exactly mundane, to say the least. I mean, being heartbroken or whatnot, sure, that's something that probably more people have experienced versus, you know, having your having your mom fall into a cult and then having your parents divorce or whatnot. That's definitely a lot more extreme, but still, it's not the end of the world, basically. So I feel like it's a really great. I think more than anything else, this particular arc and the fact that Kaiki is the one going around and doing this stuff and even telling off Araragi at the end there really speaks volumes as to how you can, you know, a different sort of way of looking at this series and everything that has happened so far. Sure, I mean, sure, you can still look at it from just a pure fantasy perspective and all that, and that worked fine as well. But I'm just saying, if you really, oh, sorry about that. If you wanted to, you could also say that, you know, this is basically making a reference to these various different things. So I love it. I absolutely love it. And I completely agree with what Kaiki was saying in this episode. And then I guess we still have this this sort of situation between Kaiki and Senjugahara, right? And again, I feel like everybody can have their own interpretation. For me, nothing has changed, honestly. In fact, the sort of parting words between Senjugahara and Kaiki here even further convinces me of my own interpretation of the situation, where these two probably did have feelings towards each other, although they never really manifested into something that they can act upon, and it would have never worked out in the end anyways. But still, I feel like the feelings are there, that little spark there, but they both are doing their best to completely extinguish it, right? So that's my take on the situation here. And once again, I still feel like the most brilliant lie that Kaiki did for this entire arc is still at the very beginning, you know, him saying that, hey, what I'm about to tell you might be true, might be not. I might just be telling a grand old story, a grand old tale in order to keep you guys entertained and interested. I think, you know, personally, I think that is the biggest lie that he told. The fact that he is going to be telling lies and embellishing the stories and whatnot, and making himself to be the good guy, right? Because, you know, even though I don't really think that he's a good guy per se, but he definitely has his own principles, his own values and whatnot, and we can't just simply label him on the side of either white or black, right? He is more of a grayish character, and I definitely appreciate that. So yeah, that's basically it for that situation as well, and I guess at the very end here, you know, what the hell actually happened? Right, so we do confirm that everything was being done by Ugi. So who exactly is she? What exactly is she trying to accomplish? Well, beats me. All right. Like I said, in the last episode, I do have a theory that maybe she's from the future or something like that, something of that sort. Is she actually related to Oshino in some way? I actually think so. No, I do think so, but I'm not entirely sure how, right? And her appearance here, does it have anything to do with Oshino Meme's own disappearance? Yeah, I think the two are probably related in some way. But how so? Well, I guess we're just gonna have to continue watching on and find out. So anyways, that's it for Koimonogatari. I definitely have to say this is probably... should I say this is my favorite arc? It's so hard to say. I can definitely say Kaiki is one of my favorite characters. Is this one of my favorite arcs though? It's a really tough decision here. But in any case, I definitely enjoyed this one, as I have with most of the series so far. And well, we are continuing on, right? Because the second season is not over yet. I still have Hana Monogatari to watch. And then after that, of course, we still have the next season as well, but we'll get to that when we get there. In any case, hope you guys enjoyed this as well, and now that this arc has ended, feel free to go crazy, go wild with all your comments and what you think of the situation and whatnot. I'm looking forward to that. Thank you guys, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.